I measured the wardrobes in 47 new builds across the UK average size, 3 square meters. For reference, that's smaller than a toilet cubicle, and the developers know it. I selected 47 newly completed homes across the UK, focusing on active show homes built by the top 10 volume developers between 2024 and 2026. Every property had to be a standard 2 to 4 bedroom layout, representing the exact product sold to the average buyer. To keep the data consistent, I defined a wardrobe strictly as any dedicated, recessed, or framed alcove built into the original floor plan, specifically for clothes storage. Walking into these master bedrooms, you are stepping into a carefully arranged sales environment. The walls are painted in light, reflective tones, the furniture is scaled down, and the beds are often customized to look larger than they are. But the actual storage matches a highly predictable, bare-bones template. In house after house, the standard offering is a single metal rail, one overhead particle board shelf, and occasionally a single basic drawer. There are no recessed alcoves, no custom partitions, and no hidden depth. Instead, the wardrobes are remarkably shallow, often measuring just 500 to 550 millimeters, well below the 600 millimeter industry standard required for a standard clothes hanger to sit straight without pressing against the door. This absence of functional storage represents a formulaic pattern repeated across entire developments, regardless of house size or price point. By omitting built-in closets and keeping bedroom walls completely flat, developers save on the framing, plastering, and joinery labour required to build dedicated storage zones. The room is presented as finished, but the layout forces a compromise. The flat walls make the space appear larger to prospective buyers on a 10-minute tour, while quietly transferring the practical problem of where to put your belongings to the day you move in. I analysed the internal design files and specification sheets from 4 major UK developers to find out exactly why this storage has vanished. What I discovered is a simple mathematical play that happens before a single brick is laid. A chartered surveyor explained the measurement logic used for sales brochures. When a developer draws up a master bedroom, they might list it as 13 square meters. If they actually build a fitted wardrobe, that wardrobe eats up about 3 square meters of real, physical floor space. On paper, the room is still technically 13 square meters, because the boundary walls haven't changed. But when a buyer walks in, a 10 square meter room with a massive wardrobe feels cramped. That visual loss of space immediately weakens the developer's asking price, because buyers pay for the feeling of volume. So developers treat storage strictly as a cost line on a construction spreadsheet, not a comfort feature for the buyer. If they leave the walls completely flat, they save on plastering, timber framing, and joinery labour, while keeping the room looking as large as possible during the initial sales tour. To see how this bypasses regulations, I tracked the paper trail from approved planning drawings to the actual sales brochures. A planning officer confirmed that local councils do not require internal wardrobe layouts or shelving details to grant planning permission. The approved blueprints simply show blank boxes. The developer can legally hand over an empty room with zero storage, and they are still fully compliant with local planning laws. The final step of this mechanism is legal. I asked a leasehold solicitor to examine the standard covenants in these new build contracts. The deeds explicitly state that any internal finishing, including closets and shelving, is the sole responsibility of the buyer. By omitting these elements, developers protect their profit margins twice. They reduce their construction build costs, and they pass the entire operational and financial headache of making the house livable directly onto the homeowner the moment they get the keys. I wanted hard proof of how this layout choice impacts actual property values over time, so I built a completely separate data set. I pulled land registry sales records for 207 new build homes sold on the secondary market over the last 2 years. To make sure the comparison was clean, I set strict search parameters. I excluded all non-arm's length transactions, corporate transfers, and homes with abnormal garden sizes that could skew the sale prices. I then had a RICS qualified valuation expert review the methodology and my build cost assumptions to ensure the findings were completely accurate. The numbers revealed a massive financial gap. Homes where owners had retrofitted built-in storage sold for an average of £8,400 more than identical properties left with flat, empty bedroom walls. Yet adding that exact same storage during the initial construction phase would only cost a developer about £2,100 per home. On paper, spending £2,100 to unlock £8,400 in value looks like a simple decision. But for a volume house builder, the economic incentives work backward. If they build the wardrobe, they lose the visual floor space that drives the initial premium price. By leaving the walls completely flat, they save the £2,100 in labour and materials, while presenting the room as larger than it actually is to the first buyer. To bridge this gap in their sales offices, developers have turned to a specific marketing phrase: storage ready. Brochures use this term to frame a blank bedroom wall as an exciting design choice. In reality, storage ready is a commercial mechanism designed to transfer a major financial burden. The developer protects their profit margin on day one by leaving the room empty, while the homeowner is forced to pay thousands of pounds out of their own pocket later just to make the property functional. I examined the actual invoices and receipts from owners who face this choice. One first-time buyer in Leeds showed me a receipt for £6,200 to retroactively install 3 built-in wardrobes. Because they had to hire an independent joiner after moving in, they paid the full retail rate for timber materials and custom labour, expenses that hit immediately after they had wiped out their savings on the deposit. Another buyer in Bristol chose to live with the bare walls, relying on temporary metal clothes racks that quickly cluttered the master bedroom and eventually forced them to use their second bedroom purely for overflow box storage. My investigation of 2026 construction cost logs confirms that retrofitting proper internal storage routinely costs homeowners between £5,000 and £8,000. This is a massive, unexpected financial sting that arrives when a property is marketed as completely finished. The National New Homes Survey reveals that 95% of buyers find defects at handover, with storage omissions ranking high among the complaints. Yet, developers keep using this bare bones model because buyers rarely challenge it effectively during the sales phase. Before you sign a contract, check the exact wardrobe dimensions on the planning blueprints, rather than relying on the staged show home. If you bought a UK new build and had to pay out of pocket for extra storage, share your experience in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel for more housing investigations. This isn't accidental design. It's a calculated cost transfer directly to your pocket. If you've bought a United Kingdom new build and paid thousands to retrofit basic storage, tell me your story in the comments. Subscribe for more investigations.